My food for thought. This thought was given to me and actually helped me along with not only my life, but understanding the things that happen in my life. And it was just given to me to share, so I wanted to share it. And it just happened in an instant. It's funny how God will talk to you through, at times you don't even expect him talking to you.
Amen.
And all of a sudden he'll just shoot something right in your ear.
Absolutely.
And if you're not careful, you'll miss it.
Yeah.
I want to keep in mind the circle that was made during prayer and the children inside that circle. Because I thought to myself, wow, that has a lot to do with my food for thought, although I didn't think of a circle or be inside a protective area. But as we know, and as Pastor put it so clearly, if you're walking outside of his covering, how can you ask for his protection?
That's right.
So my food for thought was entitled The Cookbook. I like to eat.
Oh, yeah. Amen.
And I know when I see the church having dinners, I'm not alone.
Yes.
So I said I'm going to share.
Amen.
But the other day I was in school, and one of my teachers, she's a judge, we're taking a test, and she goes, "Oh my God, this looks good." Now she has my attention. I'm no longer concentrating on my test. I walked up to her desk and I said, "I'm sorry, what are we looking at?" She said, "Somebody just sent me a recipe. She showed me this pot, pasta, tomatoes. It looked good." And I said, "You gotta send me that recipe." And I thought about it because a week went by and I didn't get it. I said to myself, I can probably make something that's gonna look like it. But is it gonna be the same? And that's when God talks to me. So many times, that's how we treat our lives. We have a cookbook. Amen? Everything that we do. I tell you what, I can make a mac and cheese that'll look just as good as Jesse's. I promise you, it'll look just as good as. But is it going to taste the same? A friend of mine, he came to me and he said, "Hey dude, listen, my girl, dot, 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 dot." And I said, "Let me go to my cookbook." And I went through it. I said, "Hey dude, listen, read Ephesians 5 on how your relationship should be going. Check into that." And he read it. And he came back to me and he said, "Well, you know what, but I read it and I understand how a woman, but the first thing she's going to say to me is she's not my wife." And I said, "Well, dude, are you following the recipe? I may not have parsley, but I'll have oregano, they look alike. I may not have onion salt, but I have something that doesn't look alike. But bottom line is, if we're not following the recipe to a T, then how can we complain? How is that?" I want to come from Deuteronomy 28, verse 1 through 7. "And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of thy Lord thy God. Blessed shalt thou be in the city, blessed shalt thou be in the field. Blessed shalt thou be the fruit of the body, blessed thou thy the ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, and increase thy king, and the flock of thy sheep. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Blessed shall be when thou comest in, blessed shall be when thou goest out. The Lord shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. Thou shalt come out against thee one way, and flee before thee 7 ways." I say, any dish that we're looking for to prepare in this book, don't be mistaken. They're not 10-minute meals. All right, it's not like, oh, okay, we got it. No, some of them may require years. But for right now, if we follow the recipe, right. But if we follow the recipe, it will be fine. We cannot afford to overcook, undercook. We can't afford to leave out ingredients or add ingredients. We can't afford to do anything to deviate from the recipe given to us in this book. And if so, then how can we ask what's going on if we're not covered? So I say this in closing. I said to myself that if I indeed, when I did get that recipe, I call the judge and I say, how did yours go? And she said, mine tastes great. And I said, mine didn't taste so right. What do you think the first question she's going to ask me?
Did you use the right materials?
Amen. Have a nice day.